You didn't click on this video by chance. This isn't luck, it's divine alignment. If you're watching right now, it means you are chosen. God has led you here because He is pulling you out of confusion, out of delay, and into your true purpose. Though who can help our people to their dreams and their goals? But you are not here, Taylor, you are here to you. You are not here because of luck. You are here because God has a specific, powerful, world-shifting purpose for your life, and now is the time to step into it. Something is about to shift in your spirit. You're about to realize that every delay, every disappointment, every closed door wasn't failure, it was divine redirection. You're not forgotten, you're not behind, you are right where God wants you to be, and He's about to reveal why. If this resonates with your soul, like this video right now. Subscribe to this channel and help us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. 0 lives walking in divine purpose. Comment below. I am not lucky, I am chosen, if you know you're walking into God's plan. Get ready. Because once you discover divine purpose, your life will never be the same again. Ladies and gentlemen, because again, people think the way of luck is the worst thing ever. Toss coins into fountains, knock on wood, cross fingers, and whisper good luck as if success was some cosmic accident. But today I want to challenge this idea. I want to expose the myth of luck and lead you into the eternal truth of divine purpose. Let me begin with a truth that shakes the foundations of randomness. Nothing in creation is an accident. The tree doesn't guess how to bear fruit. The eagle doesn't flip a coin before it flies. Everything in nature operates by design, and so do you. You were not born to hope something happens, you are born to make something happen. And what you're supposed to make happen is already planted inside you. That's why luck is a myth. It distracts you from what's already been designed within you. Now, here's the tragedy. When people don't know why they exist, they call other people lucky. But success has never been about luck. It's about alignment with purpose. When a man discovers his purpose, favor finds him. When a woman walks in her assignment, doors open, not because of fortune, but because of function. Let me say something that may shock you. God does not respond to need, He responds to purpose. There are many needs in this world, but God moves when He finds alignment with what He intended from the beginning. Purpose is not something you choose, it is something you discover. You don't choose why you exist, you uncover why you were created. And your Creator has hidden your purpose inside your potential, not in what you're doing now, but in what you're capable of becoming. You see, people often ask, how do I find favor? The answer is, get in position. The oil doesn't flow until the vessel is in place. What you call favor is actually function-fulfilling design. So stop waiting for luck to strike. Heaven is not a casino. God does not gamble. He has a plan for your life, and it's not based on chance, it's based on intentionality. And until you get serious about discovering that plan, you will keep waiting on what you already carry. And I close. I challenge you today. Don't live hoping for luck. Live fulfilling purpose. The myth of luck has held too many people hostage, but truth sets us free. You were not created to be lucky. You were created to be strategic, significant, and sent. It's time to stop rolling dice and start walking in destiny. Luck is the crutch of the uninformed. That may sound harsh at first, but it's a truth that liberates the mind from limitation. In today's culture, people casually attribute success, wealth, influence, and opportunities to something they call luck. They say he's lucky he got that job, or she's lucky she met the right people. But what they don't realize is that what they're calling luck is often the product of intentional living, alignment with purpose, and the fulfillment of potential. When someone doesn't understand the principles that govern life, they fall back on explanations that require no understanding. Luck being one of them. It's easier to say someone was lucky than to admit you don't understand the laws that produce success. But the truth is, nothing in this life operates by chance. In creation, there are systems, principles, and laws that govern outcomes. Seeds don't grow by luck. They grow by the law of sowing and reaping. Planes don't fly by chance. They do so because of the law of lift overcoming the law of gravity. The same is true with success in life. It's not luck, it's law. To say someone is lucky is to dismiss the discipline, preparation, and purpose that led to their breakthrough. It's a way of excusing ourselves from responsibility. Because if life is based on luck, then we have no need to prepare. We just have to wait. But when you believe in purpose, when you know there is a divine intention behind your existence, you can no longer afford to sit idly by and hope things fall into place. You begin to realize that progress is not accidental. It is the fruit of understanding, obedience, and action. People who live by luck often live passively. They wait for good things to happen instead of positioning themselves for those things. They blame external factors instead of seeking internal alignment. But those who live by purpose are proactive. They pray with clarity. They act with strategy. They are not moved by trends or discouraged by delays because they understand that purpose is not seasonal. It's eternal. The uninformed see life as a lottery. They believe some people just get picked while others are left behind. But divine purpose cancels that mindset. You were not created to be picked at random. You were chosen before the foundation of the world. Your assignment was established before your birth. And once you become informed of that truth, you stop wishing and start working. You stop gambling and start growing, because now you know you carry something within you that the world needs, and that it will never manifest through luck, only through discovery and discipline. Luck gives people an excuse not to grow. It lets them off the hook. But once you learn the truth, you realize you are responsible for your development. You realize that God gave you gifts, not games. He gave you vision, not a slot machine. And He expects you to steward what He gave you, not wait for a miracle, but become the miracle for someone else. So the next time someone calls a person lucky, take a closer look. Chances are, behind that luck is someone who discovered their purpose, cultivated their potential, and made decisions based on vision, not emotion. And the same can be true for you. You don't need luck. You need light. You need understanding. You need to stop leaning on the crutch of chance and start walking in the confidence of purpose. Because once you are informed, you'll never again settle for a life explained by luck. Purpose precedes creation. That single statement carries the weight of divine design, intelligent intention, and eternal order. Before anything is made, its purpose must be established. In fact, nothing is truly created until its purpose is first defined. Purpose is the reason something exists. It is the original intent in the mind of the Creator before the object comes into being. In every act of true creation, purpose always comes first. This principle is not just true in the natural world, it is a divine law. Everything God creates begins with intention. He does not make things and then decide what they are for. He decides what He wants, and then He creates it to fulfill that specific need. Look at the world around you. The sun was created to govern the day. That was its purpose. The moon was created to rule the night. The bird was created to fly, the fish to swim, the seed to reproduce. None of these things were made before their purpose was fully determined. Their design matches their function. Nothing in creation is random. And certainly, nothing in creation was made before its purpose was clear in the mind of its Creator. This includes you. You are not an afterthought. You are not a biological accident or the result of human chance. You are the manifestation of a divine idea. You were conceived in the mind of God long before you were ever formed in your mother's womb. Your existence was preceded by a purpose. You were created because something needed to be done that only you could do. That means your life is not an experiment, it is a response to a divine problem. You are not a product of time, you are a solution born out of eternity. When purpose precedes creation, it also means that your value does not begin when you start producing. Your value is inherent in your very existence. A product is valuable not because of its activity, but because of its assignment. That's why it's critical to understand that you were made for something specific. You are not here to try and be like someone else. You were created to do something that no one else was assigned to do in the exact way you can. That uniqueness is not an accident, it's intentional. The tragedy of our generation is that many people are trying to create purpose instead of discovering it. But purpose is not something you make up, it is something you uncover. It's not something you choose, it's something you align with. Because it was set before you were formed. And when you live without purpose, you live out of order. That's why frustration, confusion, and comparison run rampant in a life disconnected from purpose, because creation without clarity always leads to chaos. When you understand that purpose came before you, it humbles you. It reminds you that your life is not your own. You were sent, not born by chance. You were deployed from eternity into time to carry out a specific mission. That mission is not optional. It is the reason for your breath. And until you discover and pursue it, something in you will remain restless, unsatisfied, and searching. The greatest fulfillment in life is not found in money, fame, or achievements. It is found in functioning according to the purpose for which you were created. Just like a key only feels right when it fits the right lock, your life will only make sense when it's aligned with its original intent. That is why discovering purpose is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Because purpose is not just what gives life meaning, it is what justifies your existence. So don't waste time asking, what do I want to do with my life? Ask, why was I created? Because the answer to that question already existed before you took your first breath. Remember, purpose is the seed and you are the fruit. You exist because something greater than you needed to be fulfilled, and that purpose was already finished in the mind of God before you were ever begun. Divine purpose is not discovered in the crowd. You cannot find your reason for existence by blending in, mimicking others, or living off the applause of the masses. Purpose is not born in popularity, it is revealed in solitude. It is in the quiet places, the hidden moments, and the personal wrestling of the soul that your divine assignment begins to unfold. The crowd may tell you what's trendy, what's acceptable, or what they expect from you, but they will never tell you why you are created. Because purpose is personal. It's between you and the one who made you. Past crowds are loud and their noise can drown out the still, small voice of God that speaks to your spirit. When you're constantly surrounded by opinions, comparisons, and distractions, it becomes nearly impossible to hear the whisper of destiny. Many people spend their entire lives looking outward, hoping the crowd will confirm their value, but affirmation from people can never replace revelation from God. What you need isn't more likes or follows. You need clarity, and clarity doesn't come from the outside in, it comes from the inside out. Throughout history, those who discovered their divine purpose always had to separate themselves from the crowd. Moses had to leave Pharaoh's palace. David was anointed while tending sheep in obscurity. Joseph discovered his destiny through dreams, not through the opinions of his jealous brothers. Even Jesus, though surrounded by multitudes, often withdrew to solitary places to pray. Why? Because true purpose cannot be negotiated with public opinion. It is too sacred to be handled by the majority. The crowd often reflects what is common, not what is called. And you are not created to be common. You were made to be distinct. set apart for something specific. That's why purpose doesn't feel comfortable in the crowd. It's too unique to fit in. When you live by divine purpose, you will often feel like you don't belong. That's not a sign of failure. It's confirmation that you are marked. You were not designed to conform. You were designed to transform. But transformation doesn't begin in a group. It begins in the secret place. Too many people delay their purpose because they're waiting for public validation. But the truth is, most people won't recognize your purpose until after you fulfilled it. The crowd doesn't see what God has placed in you. They see what they're used to. That's why you must stop trying to convince others of your calling. Divine purpose doesn't need an audience. It needs obedience. It doesn't need approval. It needs alignment. Until you learn to walk away from the noise, you'll never hear the truth that sets you free. Some of the most significant moments in your life will happen in private. The decisions that define your destiny won't be made on a stage. They'll be made in silence, prayer, and surrender. The path to purpose often begins with separation. Separation from distractions, unhealthy relationships, and every voice that doesn't echo the voice of your Creator. It's only in the absence of the crowd that you begin to see clearly who you are, and more importantly, why you are. If you're feeling isolated, don't rush back to the crowd for comfort. Isolation is often preparation. God pulls you away not to punish you, but to prepare you, to purify your motives, to sharpen your vision, and to reveal what no one else can tell you. In that sacred space, He deposits the blueprint of your assignment. And when the time is right, He will bring you back into the world, not to blend in, but to stand out. So don't be afraid to walk alone. Don't fear the silence. Don't despise the seasons where it feels like no one understands you. Those are the seasons where divine purpose is being forged. You were not born to echo the crowd. You were born to fulfill a calling so unique, so specific, that it could only be revealed in the presence of the one who gave it to you. God hides purpose in potential. That truth reveals both a mystery and a mandate. When God created you, He didn't place your purpose on the outside for everyone to see. He hid it deep within you like a seed buried in soil, waiting for the right environment, the right conditions, and the right time to emerge. That means your purpose is not something you chase. It's something you carry. And until you recognize the treasure God has placed inside you, you will continue to search outside for what can only be found within. Potential is the stored ability to become something. It is unused strength, untapped capacity, dormant vision. It is not what you are doing now. It is what you are capable of doing. And within your potential lies your divine purpose. God never creates anything without loading it with everything it needs to succeed. The seed already contains the tree. The egg already contains the bird. And you already contain the destiny you were born to fulfill. But like the seed, your purpose must be cultivated. It must be discovered, developed, and deployed. One of the greatest tragedies in life is not death, but life lived without uncovering purpose. Not because purpose didn't exist, but because potential was never activated. Too many people go to the grave full of dreams never pursued, gifts never used, books never written, businesses never started, relationships never healed, visions never cast. Why? Because they didn't understand that purpose doesn't shout, it whispers. And it doesn't chase you down, it waits for you to grow into it. You cannot unlock your purpose if you ignore your potential. And you cannot discover your potential if you settle for comfort. Growth is the key to uncovering what's inside you. That's why God often uses challenges, tests, and seasons of pressure, not to harm you, but to pull something greater out of you. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Oil is extracted through crushing. Gold is refined by fire. So when life becomes difficult, it's not always the enemy at work. Sometimes it's God digging into the soil of your life, trying to unearth the treasure He buried there before you were born. Potential demands responsibility. It asks you to believe in what hasn't happened yet. It requires faith to invest in what others can't see. But when you believe that God has placed purpose inside you, you stop waiting for opportunity and start preparing for it. You stop living by reaction and start living by revelation. You understand that your job is not to create purpose, but to release it, to become what God had in mind when He formed you. It's important to know that your potential is not measured by where you come from, what you've done, or who others say you are. Your past doesn't define your potential, your design does, and your design was authored by the Creator Himself. God doesn't make anything halfway. Everything He makes, He finishes before He begins. So if you are still alive, it means there's still something in you the world hasn't seen yet. But potential is time sensitive. If you ignore it, it begins to wither. If you delay it, it starts to fade. Purpose is eternal, but your opportunity to fulfill it is not. That's why urgency is essential. You can't wait forever to become who you were born to be. The world is waiting for what's inside you, and time won't pause until you're ready. You must rise. You must dig deep. You must unlock the hidden greatness God planted in you before the foundation of the world. God hides purpose and potential because He wants you to seek Him for the blueprint. He wants relationship, not just results. He doesn't want you to run off with the gift and forget the giver. So in His wisdom, He conceals your assignment and your ability, and He calls you to walk with Him so He can reveal it layer by layer, step by step. When you understand that, you stop asking, why am I here? And start declaring, everything I need is already inside me. All that's left is to uncover it. Prejudice. You were designed for destiny, not for gambling. Life is not a game of chance. Your existence is not the result of random events or cosmic coincidence. You were crafted with care, intention, and divine foresight. The idea that success comes from gambling with your life, taking random chances, or leaving your future to fate is not only misleading, it is a complete denial of the purpose-driven nature of your creation. God does not roll dice with your destiny. He is a God of order, design, and purpose, and everything He creates is meant to fulfill a specific function, including you. From the very beginning, you were designed with destiny in mind. You were not born to simply survive, drift, or hope things work out. You were born to fulfill an assignment. Your life has direction embedded into it, like a seed that already contains the tree. But when people do not know this truth, they begin to live recklessly, hoping something good will happen, hoping they get lucky enough to find love, success, peace, or significance. That's not destiny, that's gambling. And you weren't made to gamble with your life. You were made to live it on purpose. Guys, headline, Blazon. Gambling is the habit of those who have not yet discovered the principles of purpose. It is driven by the belief that life is unpredictable, that outcomes are out of our hands, and that perhaps luck will favor us if we take enough risks. But when you understand destiny, you begin to live with intention. You don't throw your time, relationships, or decisions into the hands of fate. Instead, you seek direction. You align yourself with the will of God. You realize that there is a divine plan for your life, and that plan is not activated by chance, but by obedience. Design reveals intent. Just as a car is designed to drive and a pen is designed to write, your design reveals something powerful about your destiny. Your gifts, your passions, your burdens, and even your experiences are clues to what you were made to do. God did not send you into the world with no instruction. He gave you internal wiring, unique gifts and instincts that point to your assignment. The problem is that many people ignore those indicators and instead gamble with their potential. They trade long-term vision for short-term thrills. They follow trends instead of truth. And in doing so, they forfeit the clarity that comes with understanding purpose. Destiny is not hidden from you, it's hidden for you. It requires seeking, it requires connection with the Creator. That's why prayer, reflection, and growth are so important. They're not religious rituals, they are the means by which you access the divine blueprint for your life. You cannot discover destiny without consulting the one who designed it. And once you discover it, everything begins to make sense. Your decisions gain direction. Your pain gains perspective. Your steps gain order. When you know you were designed for destiny, you stop wasting time. You stop placing your future in the hands of chance or relying on luck to take you somewhere meaningful. You start building with intention. You start living with clarity. You realize that your life is not a bet, it's a calling. And every day you wake up is another opportunity to walk in that calling with focus, courage, and purpose. So reject the mindset of the gambler. Stop hoping to get lucky in life. You are not a lottery ticket. You are a chosen vessel. You don't need chance when you have calling. You don't need luck when you have design. Destiny is not something you win. It's something you walk in, step by step, choice by choice, aligned with the God who planned your life before you ever took your first breath. You are not made to gamble. You were made to fulfill. Favor follows function. That means divine favor is not random, and it is not distributed according to who shouts the loudest or prays the longest. Favor is the evidence of heaven's approval on earth, and it flows where purpose is being fulfilled. Too many people seek favor without understanding that favor is not attracted to idleness, confusion, or disobedience. It is attracted to alignment. When you begin to function in the very thing you were created to do, favor begins to locate you, surround you, and multiply what you touch. God is a God of function. In all of creation, He designed everything with precision and purpose. The sun functions by ruling the day, and because it operates in its role, it has never failed to rise. The moon governs the night, and because it functions as intended, it remains in position. Trees produce after their kind. Birds fly, fish swim. Every living thing in creation receives provision and sustenance because it operates in the function it was designed for. When something functions according to its purpose, it attracts what it needs to thrive. The same is true for you. When you step into your divine function, your purpose, your assignment, your true role in the kingdom, favor begins to flow. Doors begin to open. Resources are drawn to you. People you didn't even know you needed show up to help carry the vision. Why? Because you are now functioning where you are always meant to be. And favor always follows function. Favor is not earned, it's inherited. But it is activated by obedience. You can be favored by God, but until you step into your function, that favor will remain dormant. It's like having seeds but never planting them. The potential is there, but the activation requires action. Many people pray for favor, but they never position themselves to receive it. They refuse to function. They chase titles instead of calling. They mimic others instead of discovering their own design. And as a result, favor passes them by, not because they weren't loved by God, but because they weren't aligned with their function. The function is tied to your design. What are you naturally gifted at? What burdens stir your heart? What doors keep opening for you? What frustrates you that you feel called to fix? These are clues to your function, and once you begin to embrace that function, you'll find that what you struggle to achieve in your own strength now flows with ease. Why? Because favor is now doing the heavy lifting. What once took effort now takes obedience. Function also brings clarity. When you are functioning in your calling, you stop competing with others. You stop being jealous. You stop seeking validation. You understand that your favor is tied to your function, not someone else's. You realize that you don't need what they have. You need to be who you are. And when you are who God created you to be, heaven backs you up. That's favor. Favor is divine assistance, supernatural acceleration, and unexplainable increase that follows the person who is rightly aligned with their assignment. If you're lacking favor, don't pray for more. Check your function. Are you operating in obedience? Are you using the gifts God gave you? Are you planted where He called you to grow? Because if you are, favor will not be far behind. Favor is not the goal, it is the byproduct. It is God saying, I recognize that you're walking in what I design you to do, so I will supply what you need to keep going. You don't need to chase favor. You need to chase function. Discover it, embrace it, operate in it. When you function in your purpose, favor becomes your companion. It opens doors no man can shut. It gives you access you didn't qualify for, and it causes your life to bear fruit that impacts generations. Because favor doesn't find the idle, it follows the functional.